Hello, hello. Welcome back to today's stream. We're back playing all the words she wrote. And what happened last time? Oh, pretty much we were given an offer from my aunt to go work and live with our favorite author. Hooray. How's audio? Audio's good? Alrighty, thank you. Am I allowed to eat bread crazy style? Nah, you only get flatbread, cheese bread. Remember, never on the sauce. On the sauce? On the sauce? On the side. Ooh, that sounds good. Mozzarella sticks. Anyways, yep. Back in we go. I toweled myself off after my lengthy bath and changed into my pajamas. After retreating to my bedroom, I then decided to call Nina. It's getting late now. The clock on my bedside table says it's 22:30, but it's not so late Nina would be asleep. I don't think she'll mind an impromptu call. She is my friend, despite, or maybe because of, her fussing. I search for Nina's number on my phone. My fingers are trembling, and I misclick a couple of times. I've got a lot on my mind. I need to share my good news with somebody stat, or I'm afraid I'll burst. Nina, hey, Nina. I greet Nina cheerfully, almost breathlessly, when she picks up. Nina, you'll never guess what. Well, what? I can't see Nina's face, but I can practically hear her furrowed brow through the other end of the phone. I was just about to have a bath. Make it quick, Mayo. I'll try, but I don't know if I can. This isn't something I can summarize quickly. It's pretty monumental, in fact. My whole life is about to change. No, it changed already. I feel like a whole new person. Well, isn't that suspicious? Nina snorts. You haven't been talking to any shitty people, have you? Like who? I don't know. Cult leaders, pyramid sellers, the Yakuza, the list goes on. I've only spoken to my Aunt Say recently, and my parents. I don't think they're suspicious. I guess that's true. You're definitely the weirdest member of your family. Hey, how am I weird? That's not very nice. But it's true. I've seen your room, and it's like weird central. It's full of Elf-Force merch. And I pout while doing a quick scan of my bedroom. I just noticed all the posters. As Nina says, my room really is full of Elf-Force merch. There's a bunch of posters all over the walls that show off my number one waifu, Luluna. My shelves are stacked with every volume of the light novel, some in duplicate, and I own every volume of the manga series. A Luluna figure stands on my bedside table, and I have a few cheap crane figures of Astra and Luce by my laptop. My laptop is turned off right now, but if I press the power switch, I'd be greeted with an elf poster wallpaper. I own a few other Elf-Force trinkets too, keychains and towels, and a pass case for my Suika card. My room's become something of a shrine to the series during the last couple of years. I don't think there's anything creepy about it though. Elf-Force is a good series, and the girls are super cute. Why wouldn't I want to fill my room with Princess Luluna's smiling face? Yikes. Oh geez, I swear I can hear Nina wincing. Don't you realize how cringy you sound, Mio? You're acting like a teenager boy or something. That's Elf-Force target's audience. You're way outside of its strike zone. Elforest is mostly popular with teenage boys, true, but that doesn't mean I can't like it too. The series is only getting bigger and bigger as time goes on, and it'll get way more attention when the anime comes out. Guys and girls will love it, I'm sure. I don't love it. I think it's stupid. That's because you've never given it a chance. I don't want to give it a chance. I'm too old for elves and monsters and sword fights. It's boring. Maybe to you, but Elforest sales figures would disagree. It sells like hotcakes every time a new volume comes out. It's a work of undisputed genius. You always say that. Nina yawns, as she always does when I try to tell her about Elforest's many merits. Nina just doesn't seem to get how deep the series is. It relies on a lot of standard fantasy tropes, yeah, but the way Ryu, or should I say Hijiri, executes them is out of this world. The story's full of tension, but it's balanced out with a lot of cute moments between Itsuki and the girls. The girls are all adorable. I've never been that into light novels or even anime, but something about Princess Liluna really gets me. I just saw your chrome in you. Yeah. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Chrome? Never. I'm never on Chrome. It was through Princess Liluna, in fact, that I got into Elforest. I was walking back from home minding my own business when I saw this cardboard standee of her set up outside our local Kinokuniya to advertise the release of the third light novel in the series. I laid eyes on that life-size Liluna cutout in all her sweet purple hair glory, and I think I fell in love a bit. I simply had to go into the store after that to check out the series from which so perfect an angel descended. I bought all 3 volumes of Elforest and tore through them in the moment I got back home. I've been a die-hard fan ever since. I tried to tell my friends about how amazing Elforest is, but none of them are particularly interested. They don't understand Liluna's appeal like I do. Liluna is a shy girl and she's often anxious, but she does her best to run her country regardless. She cares greatly about her people and she's kind to a fault. Her scummy advisors are always trying to take advantage of her. Fortunately, Itsuki is there to support her. Itsuki and Liluna make such a cute couple. Their relationship is even more developed than those you see in TV dramas. The Elforest is supposed to be a fantasy series with some action elements. If Itsuki ends up with Astra or Luce instead, I swear I'm gonna lose it. Mayo. Oh, Nina sounds fed up. I must be spacing out. That tends to happen when I think about Elforest, Liluna in particular. Mayo, what is it? You've gone silent. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just thinking. About Princess Lilunara? That's Liluna. I've told you like a dozen of times. Whatever. Ugh, would it kill Nina to be less dismissive about the world's greatest work of fiction ever created? Kokoro, the Pillow Book, hell, the Tale of Genji? Get out of here. The Forest of the Elves and the Pursued Princess has them all beat. So, what did you want to talk to me about? Oh, it's amazing, you'll never guess. I'm sure you're right. I'll never guess, and neither do I want to. You should just come out and tell me. It'll save us the time. What? That's no fun. I don't want to sit around playing guess games. I want to have a bath, like I said. Hurry up. Okay. I pout. Trust Nina to suck up all the enjoyment out of this. Oh well, I'm still in super good mood. I won't let her negativity hurt me. This might sound unbelievable, but... I pause for dramatic effect. Not that it really seems to be working. Nina is yawning again. I'm going to meet Tsukimi Ryu next Monday. Huh? I'm pretty stoked by this announcement and that's an understatement, but Nina doesn't seem to realize how monumental it is. I detect from the other end of the line mild confusion mixed with perhaps a hint of annoyance. Did I make a mistake? Maybe I let slip Ryu's real name rather than their pseudonym. There's no reason for Nina to know any Komikado Hijiri, but... Who's Tsukimi Ryu? What? I recoil aghast and then cry out. Nina, please, don't tell me you don't know who Tsukimi Ryu is. I don't, or I wouldn't be asking. Are they a singer or something? No, they're not. They're a writer. The writer of Force of the Elves and the Pressured Princess. Oh, right. There's a pause. Then Nina scoffs. That title is, like, way too long. What was the author thinking, giving their series such a dumb name? It can't be that dumb, or the series wouldn't be so popular anyway. I clear my throat. Aren't you happy for me, Nina? This is incredible, right? Ryu is my idol. It's not every day a girl gets to meet her favorite celeb, you know? It is kind of cool, I guess. But it'd be cooler if this Ryu was a handsome actor or an idol or whatever. I don't get the hype myself, but I guess I'm happy for you. So, how'd this meeting come about? It's 'cause of my Aunt Sei. Get this, Nina. She's Tsukimi Ryu's publisher. She is? Yeah, I know she was a publisher, but I had no idea she worked with light novels and stuff. I figured she only dealt with serious adult novels, like detective fiction or whatever. All this time, my aunt's been managing my favorite author, and I had no idea. It feels like the world as I know it shifted or something. It's insane. And your aunt arranged for you to meet him? Kind of. It's a bit more complicated than that. I don't know how much I can tell you. Some of this info might be confidential, but Ryu's been looking for a housekeeper. My aunt thought I might be a good fit for the job, so she suggested me. I'm going to Ryu's house on Monday to check it out. If they like me, I'll become their live-in maid. I make a conscious effort to fudge my pronouns while delivering this news. I always assume, like most other denizens of the net, that Tsukimi Ryu was a guy. Now I know Ryu is, in fact, a girl called Hijiri. But that's supposed to be a secret. I don't want to let that slip to Nina. I doubt she'd care about Ryu's gender. I doubt she even remember it, but I want to try and respect Ryu's or Hijiri's privacy. There must be a reason why Hijiri's been keeping her gender on the down low. This job pays way better than my current one at Blue Mountain, and I'll be able to spend time with my idol. It's like I'm being paid to have my dreams come true. What do you think, Nina? I'm so excited, I'm positively bouncing up and down on my bed. This is cool, right? It's really, really cool. It's certainly unexpected. I wonder what Nina's doing on the other end of the line. Is she shaking her head? Do you think Ryu would like you? I don't know. I have to wait and see, but I sure hope so. I can't think of anything else I'd rather do. I'll wish you luck then, although, it seems like a strange fit. I can't imagine you as a housekeeper. You don't even like sweeping up at Blue Mountain. How are you gonna look after a whole ass house? I'll make it work somehow. I don't like cleaning, but I know all the basics. My mother taught me well. I kind of resented her for it in the past, but now I'm super grateful. I can do the dusting and the washing up and the laundry, no problem. I even know how to get stains out of carpets. It shouldn't be too hard. I think you're like underestimating things. If this Ryu's half as popular as you say, I bet he'll be living in a huge house. That's a lot of cleaning for one lazy girl to handle. Maybe so, but I'll do it. I'd push boulders up a hill all day if that's what Ryu wants. Wow. Nina whistles. You really are obsessed. I am. I'm like Ryu's #1 fan. Of course. None of this matters, right? If Ryu doesn't like you, he might not get the job. Maybe not, but I'm trying not to think about that. The thought of being rejected by my favorite person in the whole world is a painful one. I think it'd be best if I didn't get ponder this possibility for the sake of my mental health. I've always thought it pointless to worry about the future, and my life's mantra applies readily here. I don't know what tomorrow might bring, so I won't think about it. It's simple. So, what happens if you get the job? Will you have to move? Yeah. Ryu lives out in the countryside. I can't say where exactly, but it's like a 4-hour train journey away from Tokyo. It wouldn't be feasible to commute. So would you be leaving your parents' place? Uh-huh. Your mother must be happy about that. Yeah, she's totally for it. I think she's sick of having me at home. It sounds like everybody should be happy then, if you got the job. I'll wish you luck, although... I grin. Will you miss me, Nina? A little, I guess. You're kind of fun to talk to, all this elf force crap aside. But more than that, I'm pissed. Huh? What about? I'm going to have to take on even more shifts at Blue Mountain until the boss hires somebody to replace you. And you already owe me for letting you off work half an hour early this afternoon. I hope you're planning on reimbursing me after you become rich, Mao. I'll be waiting. I can hear the smirk on Nina's words, though I can't see her face. There's this super cute pair of heels I've been after ever since, like, last summer. I can't afford them right now, but I'm sure you wouldn't mind treating me, would you? Isn't that what friends are for? Yikes. Okay, I will be right back. Alrighty. I'm back? Okay. Maybe we should save here. How do I save? Okay. Save game. Yes. The weekend passes in the blink of an eye, and soon the fated day is upon me. Why is the fated day trademarked? Why is it trademarked? What the heck? I awake on Monday bright and early, then splash my face with cold water in the bathroom. I clean my teeth, brush my hair, and pull on a cute outfit I prepared the night before. I already packed my bag in advance with some of the essentials I'll need to spend the night away. Hijiri lives in the countryside in a small remote village. It takes 4 hours, give or take, to arrive at her village, with 3 changes along the way, and that's without factoring in all of the time spent waiting for connections. Since so few trains stop at Hijiri's village, Sei's determined it was unfeasible for me to make a round trip in one day. Sei decided instead that I should stay the night with Hijiri, regardless of whether or not she agrees to take me on as her housekeeper. I'm sorry, it's such an awkward arrangement, Mio. Sei apologized to me the other day while we were hammering out the finer points of my schedule. I paid to put you up in a hotel, but there aren't any in the immediate area. Hijiri's village is really out of the way. Fortunately, her home is more than large enough to accommodate you. I'll tell her to prepare a guest room. I know she has several. Is that alright? Naturally, I reassured Sei that everything was A-okay. That's totally fine. I don't mind spending the night with Hijiri. I'll have to get used to living under her roof if she does hire me. And if she doesn't, it'll be a fun experience. Though it would be somewhat bittersweet, I don't just want to spend one night in Hijiri's care, I want to spend the rest of my life with her. Whoa there. Just kidding. Realistically speaking, it'd be a bummer to spend the night with Hijiri, only to pack my bags and go home the next day, but I'm hoping that won't happen. With some luck, my unearning love for L4 should shine through during my job interview. I'll do anything for you, Mistress Hijiri, I'll tell her. I'll even lick the dirt from your feet if that's what you want, if only you'll permit me to remain in your august presence. Jesus Christ. What the hell? I think that should do the trick. I'll make my devotion so apparent, Hijiri will have no choice but to hire me. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I'm feeling quietly confident about my chances. I'm glad you're in such high spirits. I distinctly remember Sei saying that while we were discussing things. You'll need to take a change of clothes with you on your trip, but don't bother packing too much. It'll be a hassle to haul a huge suitcase around, and you mightn't be staying more than a night. Bring the bare essentials. If Hijiri does give you the job, I can deliver you the rest of your things in my car later if you need them. That's the advice Sei gave me, which I think was pretty prudent. There's no chance Hijiri won't hire me, of course. I'm trying to think positively, but I don't want to haul all my clothes around with me. The journey ahead of me is a long, complex one full of changes. Lugging around large suitcases on public transport is always a nightmare. I don't want any of my fellow passengers tutting at me. Moreover, I'll have to walk a bit to get to Hijiri's home. She lives on the outskirts of her village, about a 20-minute walk away from the station, down a cruddy, twisty-turny countryside road. I know because Sei texted me over the details last night. It's a sultry summer day, and carting a massive wheelbase around me for almost half an hour would make me sweat. It's in my interest to put my best foot forward when meeting Hijiri. I want to make a good first impression. Greeting her all red-faced and out of breath absolutely will not cut it. That would be a total disaster. Packing light is indisputably the way to go. It's the best way to ward off any unfortunate happenings. That's what I think, at least, but my mother seems less convinced. Are you sure you have everything you need for your trip? That bag looks awfully small. I have everything I need, Mom. Don't worry. I can't help but worry. I'm your mother. Did you remember to bring a change of underwear? Of course, Mom. I'm not a child. And what about your phone, your wallet, your keys? Check, check, and check. All the important stuff is in the pouch at the front. I pat my messenger bag for good measure, which is resting on the chair beside mine. My dad isn't here to see me off. He had to head to the office early to sort out some work-related emergency. He said goodbye before he left, though, and wished me luck. My dad's pretty chill. I wish my mother could follow his example, but... You put all your valuables in that front pouch. My mother's look of disapproval deepens. That doesn't sound very safe. You'll be a prime target for pickpockets. You should put your purse somewhere more secure. It'll be fine, Mom. I've used this bag a lot and I've never been pickpocketed before. Maybe not, but there's a first time for everything. Move your purse at least, Mayo. Sure. I acquiesce to my mother's wishes, as I often do when she gets on my case, but it's easier to do what she says rather than argue things out. I don't want to get into a fight over something so petty. There, I moved my purse. Is that better? Marginally, I'm not sure why you brought that messenger bag, though when we have that wheel travel bag, it's bigger and there's more compartments. Wouldn't you rather use that? I thought about it, but I'm not bringing that much stuff. Besides, it's so big, it's a pain to cart around on the trains. Well, whatever you say, I'm sure you know best. My mother sniffs in a way that suggests she doesn't really think I know best. She's good at being passive-aggressive. If it was an Olympic sport, I'm sure she'd win a gold medal. And you have your toothbrush, toothpaste, your hairbrush? Yes, Mother. Your phone charger? Uh-huh. And you know exactly what trains you have to catch. Say sent me an itinerary yesterday. I've looked at it so many times I've got it memorized. Do you want me to recite it? That won't be necessary. I'll try to have faith in you. Gee, that makes a change. Now, don't take that tone with me, young lady. I'm just looking out for you. You should be grateful. This is the best job opportunity you ever had. I don't want you squandering it by getting on the wrong train and ending up in, I don't know, some rice paddies somewhere. That would be disastrous. I won't end up in a rice paddy, Mom. Though I'm sure I'll pass them on my journey. Hijiri's home is way out in the sticks. That's an interesting thought, come to think of it. I'm a city girl through and through, and I don't think I've ever seen a real rice paddy before. I know of rice as something you could buy in bulk in the supermarket in these huge 5-kilogram bags. I eat rice almost every single day, at breakfast and at dinner, but I've never seen it out in the wild. Ooh, excuse me. First burp of the stream. Woohoo! We're 30 minutes in. It would have been better if Sai could have driven you there instead. My mother laments with a sigh. Then I wouldn't have to worry about your sense of direction or lack of. It's a shame she was so busy this morning. Yes, 'tis a shame, considering she's a publisher with probably more than one client. So, oh well. It'll be fine, and I'll be fine too, I promise. I don't need Auntie Say to hold my hand. I'm not a baby. I can handle myself just fine. I hope you're right. My mother shakes her head and then looks at the food arranged on the table. She always goes all out with breakfast. She says it's the most important meal of the day, but she made even more of it than usual today. This lavish feast must be on the account of my upcoming journey. She's trying to shore up my stamina. It's nice of her, but... Aren't you going to eat, Mayo? You barely touched your food. I'm not very hungry. I've been pecking at little bits of pieces of food like a bird, but I can't taste any of it. The white rice is fresh from the cooker, might as well be cotton balls. The miso soup water. I'm so keyed up, it's real effort to make myself swallow. My stomach feels like it's full of fluttering butterflies. I feel like a teenage girl in love, psyching herself up before confessing to her crush. In a sense, I am a girl in love. I absolutely adore Elf Force, and I adore the author who created it. Tsuchimi Ryu, or Komikado Hijiri, is my favorite artist of all time. Her work never fails to make me smile. Being able to see her at all feels like a dream. Everything pales in comparison to my eager expectations. The sight of my ordinary kitchen, the smell of the fried mackerel my mother cooked, the taste of her nourishing miso soup. It's nothing but background noise. Really, I want to be up and out the door ASAP. I can't wait to finally meet my idol. There's no chance Hijiri will love me as much as I love her, but I hope she at least likes me. That would make not only my year, but my entire life. Oh boy. We're on the train. Bochi? What the heck is Bochi? Excuse me. We have reached our final destination, where this train terminates. We advise all passengers to check their belongings before stepping off the train. Once again, we have reached our final destination. Finally, thank goodness. I sling my messenger bag over my shoulder, which was lying on the unoccupied seat beside me, and get to my feet. I've been sitting for so long my legs feel numb. Pins and needles shoot through my body, and the soles of my feet are tingling. I'm in such a hurry to get off the train. I stumble. Fortunately, I'm able to right myself before I go tumbling to the ground like a clown. That'd be a pretty sucky way to end my journey. Even though if I had fallen, it wouldn't have mattered that much. My face might have taken a bit of bruising, but my pride would remain more or less intact. It's not like there's anybody else in the train compartment to judge me for my clumsiness. I'm the only person here. There were a few people sitting with me during the prior stops, but at the last of them, a kindly-looking old woman got off at the previous station with a smile and a wave. For the final 20 minutes trundling through rice paddies, I had nobody for company save me, myself, and I. It made for quite the relaxing journey, but it was also kind of weird. I've lived in Kawasaki all my life, which is the stone throw away from Tokyo. It's not in Tokyo proper, but the trains are always jam-packed with businessmen and women regardless of the hour. I've never had a whole train compartment to myself before. I've never even considered that such a thing was possible. It really felt during those final 20 minutes like I was being spirited away into a different dimension, a dream world. That is my favorite movie, Spirited Away, from Studio Ghibli. Boobity-bee-doo. She said it. She said the name. Now I feel all disorientated. Time doesn't seem to be functioning as it should. I fish my phone out of my pocket, then check it once I step off the train. I find that term so funny. I fish for whatever. Like, you don't really hear that in, like, America. But it's just such a funny way of saying I grabbed whatever. I fished for it. You were fishing for it? Where's your rod? That's my hand. Bah. The non-Yuri all-girls anime I ship a lot. Bokchi the Rock. Is that the name of the anime? Let me look it up. Block G The Rock. British. Oh, I've seen like images, but I've never seen the anime. Uh, this kind of since they're in a band, there was like an older anime that had like a group of girls that also started like a band. I forgot what the anime was called. Yeah, Bocchi the Rock. I like it as much as Apothecary. K-On! Yeah, I think it might have been K-On! Yeah. Yeah, K-On! Sounds familiar. Let me see. K-On! Yeah, there you go, yeah. I watched K-On! But it's like a long time ago. It's on the list for you. Excuse me. Bocchi is so good though. Huh, interesting. And it's getting season 2. Oh, nice. More for you to watch. Okay. I fish my phone out of my pocket, then check it once I step off the train. I set off at 8:15, and now it's 14:05 on the dot. Where did all that time go? It feels like it vanished. I was supposed to arrive a little after 13 o'clock, but my travels took longer than anticipated. There was a holdup during the last leg of the journey. The train was halted for half an hour, apparently because a wild sparrow had been spotted hanging out on the tracks. The train had to brake so the sparrow could be shooed away to safety. Okay, someone is cutting the grass outside. I don't know if the mic is picking up the lawnmower. Can you guys hear? It's not a lawnmower. What is it called? A leaf blower. There you go. I don't know if you guys could hear it in the back. Can you? I'm hoping that's not the case. Jesus. It's freaking loud. I hear the man blowing, but it's not interrupting. Okay. Well, he's getting louder and closer, so I'm gonna take a little break and let him pass by. So I will be right back. Alright. The person, the leaf blower man, is a bit further away, but I'll probably pause again if he gets too closer. He stopped blowing. Yeah, no, he's pretty far away right now. But damn, when he got close, that was so freaking loud. The train was halted for half an hour, apparently because a wild serow had been spotted hanging out on the tracks. The train had to brake so the serow could be shooed away to safety. Wouldn't a bird, I'm assuming it's a bird, excuse me, if a bird is on a track and he hears it, I'm pretty sure the tracks vibrate when the train is on it. I'm pretty sure that bird would have flown away. Serow's a bird? Well, yeah. Serow? Okay, never mind. I am incorrect. It is not a bird. It looks like a goat. I have never heard that term before. Serow? Huh. Interesting. Okay. The more you learn. Train delays aren't uncommon occurrences in and around Tokyo, but they're never caused by wild animals, let alone serow. I don't think the businessmen I see over in the KQ Kawasaki line would much appreciate having their schedules disrupted in such a way. The handful of people waiting in my compartment didn't seem to mind too much, though. The youngish woman to my left continued reading her paperback, and the older woman behind me struck up a conversation with me. She asked me where I was going and what my plans were, and she offered me a candy. She was like, "You're stereotypical kind grandma." I wondered briefly why nobody seemed more frustrated at this long delay in the service, but then I figured they were probably used to it. Time seemed to pass more slowly out in the countryside. People take things at their own pace. They live among the mountains and the forests, coexisting with nature, and sometimes wild deer or serow get in the way, but you've got to learn to accept it. That is the circle of life. Or something like that. The journey wasn't too bad, I guess, but I feel relieved to finally get off the train. Now I can finally meet Hijiri. All my dreams are on the cusp of coming true. Really, though. Sae wasn't kidding when she said this place was remote. I stuffed my phone back into my pocket, then looked about the train station. It's so run down, calling it dilapidated would be a kindness. The station building is this tiny thing made of wood with a sagging roof that doesn't look safe by any metric. I think one good gust of wind would be enough to reduce it to firewood. When was this place built anyway? 1900? There's absolutely no way it would pass a modern health and safety check. The platform I'm standing on, meanwhile, is equally uninspiring. It's basically barren, besides one lone wooden bench which I wouldn't sit on if you paid me. The screws holding the bench together are rusty with age, and it looks ready to fall apart. There's a sign next to the bench with the village's name embezzled upon it. It's the most modern thing about this train station, but that's not saying much. The sign's all discolored from age, and it's hard to pick out the individual characters beneath all the accumulated grime. As far as signs go, it's completely useless. There's no way I'd be able to read it from the train. This station's so tiny it has one train track. The track's all overgrown with the weeds and tall grass, which is pushing up and through the gaps in the rails. I wonder how many trains the station sees a day. Maybe one or two. I can't imagine they get much traffic. It's a wonder a station this clearly underfunded and underused is still open. It seems like a massive money sink. Oh well, I'm still grateful it exists. If it weren't for this situation, it'd be even harder for me to meet up with Hijiri. I have to take a bunch of buses instead, out to the sticks, or I'd have to hire a car, which comes with its own complications. She's hiring the car. This is a pretty convenient and well-served side, though it doesn't make me wonder. How does anybody live out here without going crazy? It's so cut off from the rest of the world. The nearest town's like 20 minutes away, then that's by train. I bet the roads here are awful and it's the station's anything to go by. I can't imagine there's much else. I doubt there's any real shops. I pull a face. She's pulling faces, y'all. You'd have to be crazy recluse to willingly live out here. Now I wonder what that says about Hijiri. Oh wow, this place is even deader than I thought it'd be. I wander aimlessly through the streets, my messenger bag slung over my shoulder. I've been walking for about 10 minutes now, and I've yet to detect any signs of life. The train station was deserted, and the rest of the village seemed to be following suit. I haven't passed any dog walkers or joggers or families out enjoying the sunshine. It's so ominously quiet, I can hear the pounding of my own heart. Its repetitive thrumming mingles with the plaintive cries of the cicadas, secreted away in the undergrowth, and the regular slapping of my shoes against the dirt. I passed several houses on my trike, but I haven't seen anybody lingering outside. This place is like a ghost town, or village in this case. What's the population meant to be like anyway? Sates did tell me. Is it 400, 300? These numbers are shockingly low as it is, but I'm fast starting to suspect the real number as a neat round zero. Naturally, I've not come across any shops since I left the station, not even a small run-down convenience store with a humming cooler full of popsicles set up outside. I could sure go for a popsicle or maybe an ice cream. The summer heat is relentless. I can feel it bearing down upon the crown of my head and my shoulders, so heavy it feels like a cloak. Sweat beads on my forehead and my shirt is beginning to stick to me. I feel gross. I spent hours picking up my outfit last night, and for what? I don't want to turn up at Hijiri's house looking like a dirty, dusty vagrant. That makes an awful impression. I'm starting to fret. But I know if my mother was here, she'd chide me for my concerns. You're petting up the horse before the cart, Mayo. Worry about finding Hijiri's home first before working yourself into a state about meeting her. My imaginary mother who dwells inside my head is right, of course, though I wish she wouldn't nag me so much. I've been following the directions given to me by an unquestionable overlord, the almighty map app, which shall not be named, but it's not been helping very much. The little icon that's supposed to be represented me keeps spinning around like it's being run through the washing machine, no matter how I try to orient myself. I feel discombobulated. I'm unsure if I'm going in the right direction. It doesn't help that the roads around here don't seem to have any names. Central Tokyo can be confusing, sure, with all of its high-rise buildings and its myriad branching walkways, but at least the city planners had a decency to label everything. I'm not the best at directions, but I can get around easily enough. The numerous train stations spaced apart a couple of miles away from each other, if that help a lot. Unfortunately, there aren't any stations out here other than the one I disembarked from. There doesn't seem to be any landmarks either, unless the old disused telephone box on my right counter counts. I pause, then check my phone for further guidance, but it doesn't help. The little me icon on my map app is still freaking out, though I'm standing stock still. Me. Me. That's me. But it's like when I order Uber, the Uber car on the app, it's like spinning for whatever reason, freaking Tokyo drifting. How did you pronounce cicadas? I don't know. It's weird. I'll pronounce it cicadas or cicadas. Depending on how fast I talk, I'll pronounce it either of those two ways. Cicadas or cicadas. Not on purpose though. Cicadas. 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 No. Yeah, no. If I'm talking too fast, I'll say cicadas. And then I'll slay. Oh my god, do you hear the cicadas out here? Unbelievable. Yeah. God. This village is so old-fashioned, almost antiquated. It seems to actively repel technology. It's not the modern era. My phone feels pretty incongruous when compared to some of the more old-fashioned homes I've come across. There are a handful of modern homes, yeah, but a bunch of them look like something plucked straight from the Meiji era. At this point, I don't think I'd bat an eyelid if a contingent of samurai, am I using the right collective, walked on by. Stupid thing, why won't you work? I shake my phone as though this might shock my map app into behaving itself. Of course it doesn't. The little icon that's supposed to depict me keeps right on spinning. Are you drunk or something? I click my tongue. Maybe there's like some kind of magic barrier set up around this place. Or maybe I have really gone back in time. I know the most likely culprit behind my phone's non-compliance is a spotty signal. This place really is in the middle of nowhere, but it's more fun to consider fantastical explanations. This girl. Magic or no, I really do feel lost. I wonder if this is how Itsuki felt when he was hit by that truck. What? When he came into Cristeria, he was all dazed and confused. It took Itsuki a while to get accustomed to his surroundings, but at least he had Princess Liluna to help him. Itsuki is so lucky. I sighed and scuffed to the ground with my foot. I wish Liluna would help me too. Heck, at this point I even consider forming a party with Astra or Luz, though neither of them are in my strike zone. They're cute enough though, and they're pretty helpful, Astra's tendency to blow hot and cold notwithstanding. Why can't she just be honest with her feelings toward Itsuki? It's been 8 volumes. She should hurry up and confess to him so Itsuki can turn her down with a gentle smile and a kind, I'm sorry, but actually there's somebody else I have feelings for. Damn. Astra fans might not appreciate that, but it's obvious that's where the story is going to go. Liluna's been set up as Itsuki's lover from day 1. Liluna's the main course. The other girls are side dishes who exist to spruce up the meal. Astra and Luz and Cornelia and Vita. That's crazy. That's one way to go about a freaking harem. Speaking of side dishes, I'm starting to get hungry. I brought a pre-made lunch on the train, but I was so worked up I could only pick at it. My stomach's rumbling, my brow's sweating, and my phone still refuses to cooperate. I'm supposed to meet Hijiri around 14:30 and it's already 14:20. No, 14:21. I only have 9 minutes left. I'm not late just yet, but things end up that way if I don't hurry up. Now I'm really starting to panic. I tried to reposition myself once more using my phone, but... it's all in vain. It's not working. Alright, fine. It's not like I needed your help anyway. I turned off my phone and then stuffed it back into my pocket with a grumpy harumph. If my phone won't respect me, I won't respect it. She just throws it. I'm through with playing nice. I'll just have to find Hijiri's home on my own. It'd be nice if there was a kindly passing pedestrian who could point me in the right way, or a convenience store I could duck into and ask for directions, but I'm out of luck. There's nobody in this tiny village. As I've already ascertained, the convenience store seems to be a thing of mere myth. This village is many things, but it's not, as I've come to learn, remotely convenient. It'll be hard going at it alone, with nothing but my terrible sense of direction to rely on, but I'm sure it'll work out. These things always do in the end. This village is so small, I'm sure I'll stumble upon Hijiri's home eventually. It's unlikely I'll get lost. What's the worst that could happen? 5 hours later. Ooh, coffee. 10 minutes later. Oh. Where in the world am I? I've only been walking for a little while, but somehow I'm even more lost than I was before. Will I ever be able to make it my way back to the human civilization? This might be the end of the line for me. Even if I do escape from all these creepy sunflowers, a quick glance at my phone tells me I'm already late for meeting with Hijiri. There's no way she'll ever hire me now. Forget about making a good first impression, or even a passable one. I haven't come face to face with my idol yet, and I've already blown my chance. My mother was right to worry about me. I really am stupid. What am I going to do now? An hour later. Oh boy. Am I finally here? Is this really Hijiri's home? After a good amount of backtracking and no shortage of getting lost, I finally find myself in front of a facade which might quite possibly belong to the famous light novel author Tsuchimi Ryu. Or, Komikado Hijiri. I've got to try and remember that. It'll be awkward if I get Hijiri's name wrong. The number on the front of the house matches the address Sei gave me, as she does the general description, but jeez. This place is way more ornate than I imagined. Hijiri's house, if it indeed it is Hijiri's house, towers over me. 2 impressive floors, all done in a traditional Japanese style, with a black tiled roof and a load of latticed windows. The house isn't just tall either, it's frickin' wide. I'm not a gambling person, but I bet you could fit my parents' teeny tiny Kawasaki home into the floor plan twice over. How many rooms does this place have? How many sliding doors? If the interior is as traditional as the exterior, it'll probably have a pretty open floor plan with spacious tatami rooms, but even so. This place doesn't look like a house at all. Not by metric, at least. As a city dweller, it looks way more like an inn, or maybe a hot spring resort. There's got to be a room in there for a karaoke booth, plus a bunch of ping pong tables. Now I feel like I should look around for a vending machine or two, a bottle of chilled sodas. That's just what I need to ease my parched throat. I glance about, but of course I find no such dispensary of soft drinks. That figures. What person would put a vending machine in their garden? Hijiri's house. Is it her house? Has a lot of garden. The house is wrapped up in it like a gift box and like a gift in a box, all swaying grass and what I think might be hinoki trees, festooned with green leaves. I've never seen any house like this before, not outside of period dramas. It really does feel like I've stepped back in time. When were houses like this common? It has a real Meiji era look to it, like the village it's situated in, but I doubt many people had houses like this even way back when. It's way too extravagant. An average family never would have been able to afford something like this. This is like a real samurai residence. I wouldn't be surprised to learn some feudal warlord had lived here centuries past, ruling over it over the little people. This place is amazing, but it's also kind of intimidating. I can hardly believe Hijiri has been living in this place, all alone for years. Doesn't she ever get freaked out at night? The house is massive, all stuffed full of history, and it doesn't help that the back garden borders a crapload of spooky forests. I don't believe in ghost stories, but this place is giving me the shivers, and it's broad daylight. I hang back, perturbed. But no, I can't afford to get cold feet. Not now. I'm late enough as it is. I was supposed to get here almost 2 hours ago. Hijiri will be wondering where I am in the world. It's probably too late to make a good first impression, but even making a bad first impression is better than making no impression. I've got this. I can do it. I inhale, trying to steady myself, and then head for what I think is the front door. Hello? Hello? Hibachi teriyaki sashimi subaru. I rap upon the wood, which is goodness knows how many years old, my heart in my throat all the while. Hello, Miss Kamikado, are you there? I knock and I knock, but I receive no response. The house is as silent as an old black and white movie. This isn't doing much to placate my nerves. Let me try again. Miss Komikado? I knock again, louder this time, but still I hear nothing. There are no footsteps beyond the front door, no clicking of the lock. I frowned. Did she step out? Say I should have told her I was coming, but it did take an awfully long time to get here. Maybe she got tired of waiting. There's also the possibility that this house, being as huge as it is, Hijiri simply can't hear me, not if she's in one of the upstairs rooms. I wonder how well sound travels in this place. I shift from foot to foot, the back of my shirt stuck into my damp, sweat-slick body. The sunlight continues to beat down upon me. It's merciless. I feel like asking it if it's mind taking a hike for like half an hour so I can get my act together, but I know that'd be pointless. It's not like the sun has the capacity to listen to me. I must already look like a crazy person muttering to myself like this, without launching into a one-way argument with the sun. I guess it's a good thing nobody else is around, other than the cicadas. Cicadas! What should I do now? There's no point sitting around here, not if Hijiri isn't there to let me in. I'm just wasting time while slowly getting sunburned. It seemed a shame to turn back, though, after coming this far. I don't want my journey to go to waste, but I absolutely can't pass up the chance to meet Tsuchimi Ryu. This is a bit of a long shot, but... Hoping against hope, I reach out for the door handle, I give it a tug, and to my surprise... What? Really? It offers no resistance. The door opens inwards, allowing me access into Hijiri's home. No way. We're breaking and entering! And the cicadas can't stop me. I can't believe that worked, and so easily too. For a few moments, I dithered helplessly by the front door. I didn't jimmy it open. Hijiri left it unlocked, but heading inside would feel like a step too far. I don't want to trespass on Hijiri's private property. This place is so old, it probably has a ghost or two. Angering the restless spirits seems like a pretty good way to go about getting cursed. Not that I believe in ghosts, of course. It's all nonsense. I should be vastly more concerned about Hijiri herself. What if she holds this against me? Entering her home uninvited doesn't seem like a great way to make her acquaintance, but I guess I've already messed up on the account of being so late. Can't things get any worse? I don't think so. Really, I try to reason with myself. I have no choice. I've got a job interview to get to, which can hardly go ahead if my host refused to answer the door. It's not like I'm stopping by unannounced. Hijiri knew I'd be coming here. I'm not a trespasser, and I'm definitely not a thief. My motives are pure. I have nothing to feel guilty about, and I don't want to keep hanging around outside. The heat is intense. Alright, Mayo. I slapped my cheeks with my damp, sweaty palms in the attempt to psych myself up. You can do this. Don't chicken out now. I let my arms fall to my side, then squared my shoulders. I raised my head. She's squaring up. Then, with a purposeful inhalation of air, I take my first step inside Hijiri's home. Damn, that's crazy. Imagine a crazy fan going inside of your house and just going just aggressively inhaling everything. The interior of our home is just as spacious as the exterior, and just as dated. The entrance hall is floored with smooth wooden planks, and the ceiling is supported by wooden beams. This place might be large enough to function as an inn, but there's no check-in counter by the double doors. It's definitely a person's home. The shoes by the door and the coats on the rack attest to that much, but it's nothing like any home I've ever been in before. It really does resemble a samurai's residence. Wow. I exhale, enchanted by my surroundings. I wonder how old this place is. I feel like I should be paying a fee to look around here. I bend and slide my shoes off at the front door next to a pair of beaten-up sneakers, which presumably belong to Hijiri. These white-off shoes, scuffed from years of wear, look out of place in otherwise pristine entrance hall, as do the coats on the rack. If it wasn't for these choice items, the house would look almost unlived in. Where could my enigmatic host be? Maybe she'll appear if I call for her, like you would a cat. Here, Hijiri, come on, girl, don't be shy. I won't bite, come on. That's crazy. Yeah, maybe not. It seems unlikely. I banished that thought from my mind while walking through the hallway. I can see a whole bunch of sliding doors lining the hall, all of them tightly shut. I can't hear any noises emanating from beyond them. I don't think Hijiri is on the ground floor. Maybe she's upstairs? I double back on myself to the grand staircase in the entrance hall and head up. Now on the second floor, I pause to scan my surroundings. The hallway up here is wooden too, with the windows inlaid into the walls at various intervals. Sunshine spills into the hall, casting squares of light against the floorboards and the cream walls. Excuse me. This house looks pretty clean from what I can gather, but not in a way my parents' home does. It's too clean to fully live in, less a home and more a diorama. I do see, however, when I pass the window, that the sills are thick with dust. They need a good wipe down, and the window panes themselves are grimy. When was the last time they had a proper cleaning? I make a mental inventory of all the chores that need to be doing as I search. All the doors here, like the downstairs, are shut. I can't hear any noise beyond them. Maybe Hijiri really isn't here. Or maybe she's asleep. I frown. This is getting ridiculous. If I'm not to find Hijiri, I should probably launch a more thorough investigation. Now feeling like a detective at a crime scene, I approach the nearest door. I press my fingers into the shallow indentation on its left side and then draw it back. The door slides open with ease to reveal an empty room, all plain tatami floors and a few empty bookshelves. The tatami is aged and faded from sunlight, and it's spotted here and there with stains. The mats could use a good clean, or else a complete replacement, but the room itself is barren. It's a bit depressing, actually. And of course, Hijiri isn't here. I close the door behind me, then try another. It's the same story here, however, just bare tatami. I tell myself that the third time is the charm and move on to the next room. This door slides open as easily as the rest. But the room beyond it couldn't be more different. This is the only room in the whole house thus far which is obviously lived in, and quite thoroughly at that. Oh, the curtains in the room are drawn, which lends it a dim, dreary appearance. It takes my eyes a few moments to adjust to the murk. When they do, I gasp. The floor is tatami, or at least I think it is. It's hard to tell given it's scattered with detritus, empty food packages, plates, and discarded clothes. There's a table set up in the corner of the room with 2 computer monitors and a fancy keyboard resting on it. There's a bin beneath the table which is overflowing with yet more trash. There is a bed in the corner of the room with sheets rumpled, and lying upon the bed I see a young woman. Uh-oh. We got an achievement. Still doll. She's just sleeping, right? That's what the achievement says. That room's 500 times cleaner than mine. Why she posed up? I don't know, bro. The woman's wearing a baggy tracksuit which obscures much of her body, and her cheek is pushed against her pillow. She doesn't stir, even as I swim my way through the garbage ocean to her side. Ew. She's still and unresponsive, just like a doll. Or maybe I think with a shiver. A corpse. Oh my goodness. A self-explanation falls from my lips. It doesn't quite sum up the seriousness of the situation or the intensity of the emotions I'm currently feeling. There is something very, very wrong with this woman. Her stillness seems almost unnatural. Maybe she was robbed. That explains the unlocked front door and the messy room. I've seen scrapyards more orderly than this. Trespassers must have broken into Hijiri's home. They've crept into her room and knocked her unconscious, or worse. Then they tore through her drawers, taking all the valuables they could. Is that what happened? It doesn't sound too unlikely. If that is the case, I should call the police, or maybe an ambulance. What would be for the best? When did all this happen anyway? What if I'm too late? Hijiri? I descended upon the hopefully only comatose and probably not dead woman lying on the bed, who I now suspect is my potential future employer and the author of my favorite light novel series. Ah, yes. Goes into someone's house, walks into their room, sees said person on their own bed. They're dead. For me, when I sleep, I think I move around a lot. I can't really tell. Well, I can, because sometimes I sleep, like, I end up waking up and I'm, like, sideways on my bed, or I'm slanted sleeping on my bed. I don't sleep, like, normal. Like, I would lay down in bed vertically, how you normally would, and then somehow my body would turn slanted, and I'll wake up, like, sideways. You sleep like a brick. Apparently I do too, and I sleep through my alarms apparently now. Oh boy. Hidri, are you alright? Answer me. She's dead. I have enough self-awareness to ponder, though vaguely. It's probably a bit rude addressing Hidri with such a familiarity upon our first meeting, but manners don't seem to matter too much. Corpses are notoriously non-picky about the way they're spoken to. Oh, please don't let her be a corpse. Just let her be concussed. If I learned anything from the crime dramas my dad's like, it's that the people who find the corpses are always high on the list of potential suspects. I must look super suspicious, especially since I let myself into Hidri's home. What if Hidri really is dead, and I'm suspected of being the killer? I can't go to prison over this. Oh, I don't want my life to be ruined. Hidri, please, wake up. Hidri. My fingers sink into Hidri's slender shoulders. I shake her hard, as one might a rag doll, until... A soft sound escapes from Hidri's lips. It's a small sound muffled by her sheets, but it's unmistakably a sound. She isn't dead after all. Oh, happy day. I won't have to call the police, and I won't get called in for questioning, and I won't up in a cell. Damn. Trauma queen much? I'm so happy I could cry, or kiss Hidri, or both. Whoa there. Whoa there. You just met the woman who you presumably thought was dead. Damn. Hidri, oh thank goodness. Thank goodness. Huh? What? Hidri looks at me for only half awake. This MC is more of a scatter than the writer from the first series. That's fair, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, right as of like right now, they both equally have like a lot of inner monologue. Who are you? I'm Mayo. Takao Mayo. I'm so glad you're alright. For a while there, I really thought you kicked the bucket. I don't know what to do if you died. I don't want to go to prison. I can't get incarcerated before Forest ends. I want to know who Itsuki ends up with. It'll be Princess Luluna, right? Some people prefer Astra, but they're all wrong. Astra's cute, yeah, but she doesn't have the same chemistry with Itsuki that Luluna does. You agree with me, don't you, Hidri? I'm sure you do. You're the one who made Princess Luluna after all. You must know how wonderful she is. Oh, Hidri. Oh my god. That... Like, if that is your first interaction with your idol, as they are half asleep, as you are... Think about it. Hidri's laying in bed, and some random woman approaches you, looking on top of you, and just going, "Hey, I'm a fan." Like, no, that's creepy. My breath hitches in my chest. I'm so confused with fear Hidri might, have croaked. It didn't really click that she's the author of Elf Forest, not until now. If it wasn't for Hidri, Princess Luluna wouldn't exist, and I'd be much unhappier for it. I owe this woman a great debt. How can I tell her how much I love her? I'm no author, not like Hijiri, and words just aren't enough. Oh, Hijiri, I'm so glad to meet you, and I'm really glad you're not dead. I reach out, overwhelmed, meaning to pull my idol into a warm embrace. Get away from me, you creep. Stay back. This is the proper response. But that, as it transpires, was a huge mistake. Hijiri shuffles away from me, then draws back to her fist. I see a streak of movement in the periphery of my vision, and then... oof! It's a loud, sickening crack. It takes me a few moments to recognize that this crack comes from inside me, then a few moments more for the pain to register. Ow, 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 frickin' ow! For such a diminutive woman, Hijiri sure can pack a punch. I guess this will be my future warning. Hijiri does not respond well to phrase, and she certainly doesn't respond well to hugs. I'm going to be seeing stars for a week. Goodness me, that was quite the nasty bruise. Are you alright, Mayo? Against all odds, yeah, I think I'll live. I offer Sei a weak smile, my forehead still smarting after Hijiri struck me, but it doesn't hurt quite as much as it did during the immediate aftermath. The pack of frozen peas Sei unearthed from Hijiri's freezer helped. I kept the peas pressed to my forehead for a good 10 minutes, like a cold compress, until the peas started to thaw. Their purpose served, the peas were thrown away. Sei asked Hijiri if she wanted to keep hold of them, but she harumphed, then shook her head and said, I can hardly eat them now, they've been tainted. I took offense at that remark, but Sei didn't seem particularly surprised, only disappointed. I doubt you were planning to eat those peas anyway. I imagine they've been in your freezer for months. Now, peeless, but feeling decidedly unprincess-like, I'm sitting in Hijiri's spacious living room alongside Sei and Hijiri herself. I've yet to see my reflection in the mirror, but if Sei to believed, and I don't see why she lied to me, my altercation with Hijiri wasn't without consequences. Hijiri must have left quite the bruise. I wonder how big it is. I hope it's not so noticeable I can't cover it up with foundation. I doubt a large greenish-blue bruise smack dab in the middle of my forehead will do much to improve my looks. What if it never fades away? Then I'll be ruined for marriage. Princess Liluna will never fall in love with me then. Oh, the humanity. It's a good thing I arrived when I did, before things could have escalated further. I shudder to think what would have happened without me. Same here. Hijiri might be small, but she's no slouch. She decked me with all the force of a pro prize fighter. I was seriously frightened for my life. You saved me, Sei. I'm always happy to help. I feel terrible if you got hurt, Mayo. Though I fear it might have been too late for that. It's alright. I already said, you don't need to worry about me. I'm tough. Doesn't your head hurt? Kinda, but I'm sure it'll go away. I'm hard-headed, you know. Huh. Sei presses her lips together, concerned. I hope you don't feel obliged to put up a front. You should tell me if you feel unwell, and I'll drive you to the nearest hospital. It's not a problem. We're like family, you and I. Gee, thanks. I'm getting all flustered. That's very nice of you, Sei, but really, it's fine. I'm as fit as a fiddle. I'll take more than a single right hook to take me down. I flash Sei a toothy grin and a peace sign, but it doesn't seem to reassure her. She tucks a few loose strands of her hair behind her ear, then says, I hope you live. That would be difficult to explain to your parents. Meiko would never forgive me. She might thank you, actually, for doing her a favor. I know I annoy her. I wonder why. I think I heard Hijiri mutter something, but when I glance at her, she's staring resolutely at the wall, her lips clamped shut. She hasn't said a word since Sei came to the rescue with a pack of frozen peas, despite mine and Sei's probing. She's not even looking at me. The three of us might be sitting in the same room, but Hijiri feels very far away indeed. I peer at Hijiri's face. It's hard to get a read on her emotions from her expressions alone. It's blank, like a sheet of unlined paper. Is she angry? Embarrassed? Socially awkward? Maybe I should try lightening the mood. Hey, Hijiri, you're not into boxing, are you? You nearly knocked my block off. What the hell? I mean it as a joke, but it doesn't stick the landing. Hijiri's expression remains unwavering. She doesn't even try to smile. Huh. She doesn't harumph, but that's as far as her reaction goes. It's not a particularly illuminating response, but it does clear a few things up. I don't think Hijiri's embarrassed about hitting me, and I don't think she's socially awkward either. I think she just plain hates me. Well, this is awkward. So, ahem. Sei clears her throat, then begins to speak. I know you two might have gotten off on the wrong foot. Or fist. But please don't be too hasty in your judgments, Hijiri. I'm sure this was all a misunderstanding. Please allow me to introduce you properly this time. This is Komikado Hijiri, otherwise known as Tsuchimi Ryu. She's the author of the popular light novel series Alforus, as you already know. Sei gestures to Hijiri, who harumph again. Her arms seems grafted together in a permanently crossed position like that of a doll's. Her unchanging expression, too, is disconcertingly doll-like, as it is the rest of her. I couldn't get a good look at Hijiri in her dingy bedroom, but she can't hide away in the sun-drenched living room. The first thing I noticed about Hijiri, once the pain into my forehead began to subside, is how very small she is. She's kneeling right now, so it's hard to get an accurate read on her proportions, but I'd be willing to bet she's a good head shorter than I am, if not more. I'm not at all tall myself, I'm only 5'3", so Hijiri must be teeny tiny. I can't believe she breaks the 5-foot barrier. Damn, that's so rude. Her hair is caramel colored and she wears a tie back in two messy buns, one slightly lower than the other. We're currently in the middle of a heat wave, so it wouldn't be surprising if she had a tan, but Hijiri doesn't strike me as the outdoorsy type. She's much more down for the count than she's up at him. Maybe she's only half Japanese. That would go a ways to explaining her striking appearance. It's not like I can come out and ask that question, though. That probably sound insensitive. I don't want Hijiri to hate me more than she already does. Speaking of which, I should really stop staring at her. So, Sei shifts. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Hijiri? There's a long pause. Hijiri looks between Sei and I, her lips pressed to a thin line before replying. Not really. Right, I see Sei's shoulders deflate. She's normally so cool, but Hijiri's detachment has managed to shake even her. Don't you want to tell me a bit about your routine or what you're expecting from a housekeeper? I don't want a housekeeper. I want to be left alone. I know you do, but that's not feasible. We both discussed this. You did say you consider hiring a housekeeper, remember? Yes, I remember, and I did reconsider it. I thought it might have been a bad idea, intentionally, but... Hijiri looks me over. Her expression is downright scathing. Do you really mean to pawn me off with this girl? Is this a joke? What qualifications does she even have? I'm a hard worker. Are you now? Hijiri raises an eyebrow. Would your previous employers be prepared to attest to that? Maybe. My voice trails away. I look at my knees and the tatami mats beneath them. Damn, Hijiri's sharp. Her words are even more cutting, like a paring knife. Maybe not, no, but I'd work hard for your sake, Hijiri. I wouldn't slack off. I promise. Komikado, please. What? Call me Komikado. We're not nearly close enough for you to use my given name. We hardly know one another. Maybe you don't know me, Hiji. Oh, sorry, Komikado. Geez, that's a long family name. It's such a mouthful. Everything about Hijiri this far has been awkward, from her out-of-the-way house to her hard-to-pronounce name, but I'm prepared to weather any storm if it'll get me closer to her. What do you mean? Bruh, Mayo is fucking dumb. Everything about Hijiri thus far has been awkward. Nothing has been awkward. You made things worse. Mayo is a dumbass. Oh my god. What if the housekeeper is your wife, huh? Yeah, I don't think right now it's wife material. She can insult and denigrate me all she wants. I don't care. It won't change how I feel about her. But I know you. Really now. Hijiri looks unimpressed. I would ask whether you're a stalker, but that seems unlikely. Any stalker worth their salt would presumably know where my house is without getting lost on the way there. Ouch, that stings. She has a point, but did she really have to phrase it like that? Speak up then. How do you know me? Did we meet in a dream? Not quite. I'm not crazy. Though Nina might disagree. Let me introduce myself. I'll take it from the top. I'm Takao Mayo. Auntie Sei is a friend of the family. She's not my real aunt, but I kind of see her as one. We're pretty close. I'm 24 years old. My birthday's in June, which makes me a Gemini, and my blood type is AB. I like upbeat pop music and baking sweets and reading manga. I hardly ever read books, and I never used to read light novels, but I saw this standee of Princess Luna outside my local Kinokuniya a few years back, and I was entranced. I bought all of the Elf Forest volumes that were out because of Luna, and I've been a huge fan ever since. I see. You're a fan of Elf Forest, are you? That's right. That's why I wanted to work for you so badly. I've been looking forward to meeting you for ages and ages. Am I laying it on too thick? Well, Sensei told me about the job opportunity, which was last Thursday. It's only been 3 days since then, but I was so excited, it felt like an age. I don't like cleaning very much, if I'm being totally honest, but I know the basics. I can wash dishes and do laundry, and I'm pretty good at cooking. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but my homemade cookies are pretty good. Even Nina thinks so. Cookies? Hijiri blinks. She was doing her best impression of Jesus' statue before. Cold and unresponsive, but now I can see definite interest flicker in her eyes. Was I able to get through to her? That's interesting. What about pancakes? Can you make those? Of course, they're like super simple. You only need eggs and milk. I could whip you up some pancakes now if you want to test them. It's no trouble. It's fine. I'll file that tidbit away for future consideration. When Hijiri replies, her voice is cool, her eyes half-lidded. The spark of interest I detected upon her countenance has been snuffed out. Like a guttering candle, it's almost as though it never existed. She really is a cool customer. I suppose I appreciate your honesty, if nothing else. But I'm not sure if this is going to work out. You're a bit too enthusiastic for my liking. Can't we drop this, say? Thank Takaoka for her time, but tell her it simply won't work. We're too much different. Please, Hidri, don't be like that. You scarcely know Mayo. She's a good girl. Give her a chance. I know enough she's a fan of Elf Forest. That speak volumes. Is that a bad thing? It makes me question your tastes, yes. But you're the one who wrote Elf Forest. Shouldn't you be its #1 fan? Of course not. I wouldn't go to get conceited. There's always room for improvement. It doesn't seem like we have much in common. That doesn't bode well for our future cohabitation. We ought to call this off before we can come to blows. I think it's a good thing that you're so dissimilar. Personally, you need to have somebody headstrong around like Mayo who'll whip you into shape. Why does Hidri need whipping? Oh, you'll find out soon enough if you spend any amount of time with her. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, Mayo, before dragging you into this, but... Sei looks at me apologetically. Hidri is something of a shut-in. She almost never goes outside and she hates talking to people. She keeps odd hours, she doesn't clean up after herself, and she hardly ever eats. I buy her groceries whenever I see her because I worry about her, but she never makes an effort to use them. The food in her fridge is always weeks, if not months, past its sell-by date. It's no wonder she's so skinny when she lives on a diet of rice crackers and instant noodles. Sei clicks her tongue. She might be an adult, but she's more or less non-functional. I really am worried about her. It's not healthy letting her stay in this big house on her own. I'm terrified that I'll come here one day to find her lying down on her bed, stone cold dead. Ah, yes, wouldn't that be unfortunate? Hidri tuts. You can't let your cash cow snuff it. That would be bad for business, especially with Elf Forest anime coming up. I bet it's going to make a lot of money. That's all I've been hearing for months. Hidri. Sei winces. It's not just about the money, you know. So it's partially about the money then. Partially, yes, but there's more to it than that. Keeping an eye on you is part of my job, but I am genuinely concerned. I hate leaving you here in this tiny village all on your own. You need to stop pushing people away. If you don't get some human interaction, you'll go crazy. So, that's what you think. I'm sorry, Sei, but you're mistaken. You don't understand me half as well as you think you do. Excuse me. I can tolerate you, but you're an exception. I don't like people as a rule. It's talking to them that makes me go crazy, not spending time on my own. I quite enjoy my own company. I don't need a housekeeper, and I definitely don't need a babysitter. I'm 28 years old. I do feel bad for dragging you out here at Takaoka, and I am so sorry I punched you in the face, though you are partially to blame for that, but I don't want you here. If you're after my money, you can take it. I'll give you a bunch of cash if you promise to leave me be. No, that won't do at all. Sei slams her palm against Hidri's table in an uncharacteristic display of agitation. I'm not going to let you drive Mayo away, not that easily. You might need a babysitter, but you do need someone to keep you on the straight and narrow. Can't you give Mayo a chance? You're asking quite a lot of me. I never thought you'd find somebody crazy enough to live with me in this cruddy village. Heh. Sei grins. You underestimate my tenacity, Hidri. Evidently, this is such a nuance, but... Hidri exhales. I can tell you're not acting out of malice. You really do seem to care about me, unlike some of the other vultures I have to deal with. I'm not callous enough to throw your efforts back in your face, so... Alright. I'm not happy with this idea, but I can at least give it a try. I'll let Takakawa stay with me for a little while and see how we get on. Huh? Sei stares at Hijiri, her eyes widen. Do you really mean that? Are you really willing to give Mayo a chance? Against my better judgment, yes. Her cleaning skills seem to be dubious at least, but she shouldn't be completely useless, not if she's any good in the kitchen. Can you make more than cookies and pancakes, Takaoka? Oh yes, I'm pretty good with meals too. My mom taught me the basics when I was a kid. I can boil rice, make miso soup, and prepare a whole bunch of side dishes. Hamburger steak is my specialty. I top it with demi-glaze sauce to make it all shiny, and I serve it with veggies. I'm not a big fan of vegetables. Of course she is, and that explains why those frozen peas were stunted to the back of her freezer for so long, still sealed. But I do like Hamburg steak. Then I'll make you the best Hamburg steak I can. I'll do anything for you, Hijiri. Except respect my wishes, evidently. I told you not to call me that. Oh, sorry. It was a slip of the tongue. I meant to say, Komikado. That tongue of yours does seem awfully loose. You best be careful, or it might get you into trouble. Still, if we're going to live together, even for a trial period, you might as well dispense with the formalities. You can call me Hijiri, and I will call you Mayo. Is that alright? Of course it's alright. It's so alright. You don't need to even ask. Ah, jeez, I'm so happy. I think I feel grateful, tears beating in the corners of my eyes. I've been accepted by Hijiri. From this day forth, I'm going to live under the same roof as my idol. I'll have to shelve my wish for world peace right now. My bigger, more important wish has come true, despite the bumps and bruises I sustained for it, and I wouldn't want to ask too much else for the universe. It might sound like an exaggeration, but I'm being earnest when I say that this really is the best day of my life. Hooray. With Hijiri's begrudging consent secured, Sei excuses herself. She apologizes for being unable to stay any longer and promises to stop by at a later date to check up on me. Before leaving, she hauls a familiar-looking suitcase out of the back of her car. It's the wheeled case my mother wanted me to bring with me on my journey, which I turned down in favor for my lighter, and if I do say so, more fashionable messenger bag. Sei gives me the case and says it's full of my clothes. I suppose she must have stopped by my house before she drove all this way to meet up with Hijiri. That would imply she was certainly Hijiri would wind up accepting me as her housekeeper, despite her icy tendencies. Or that Sei is stubborn and she was determined to make Hijiri accept me, regardless of Hijiri's feelings. This arrangement. I thank Sei for her thoughtfulness and drag the case inside. Hijiri winces as the wheels squeak along the tatami mats of the living room, but doesn't comment on it. Now that's over with, I can finally go back to sleep. Sleep? I stare at Hijiri, nonplussed. But it's almost 17 o'clock. Yes, and it's much too early to go to bed. It's not even dark out. Who are you to say what I can and can't do? You're not my minder. Maybe not, but I am your housekeeper. It's my job to keep things ticking over on a regular schedule, right? Normally, I suppose, but that relates to running of the house, not to my daily schedule. Besides, you're not my real housekeeper either. Not really. No. No. Hijiri narrows her eyes. I don't need a housekeeper. I told Sei that a dozen of times, but she refuses, to budge on the subject. She's been annoyingly persistent about it. I capitulated in the end, but I refused to concede. I still don't agree with her. I have absolutely no use for you, Mayo. You might as well not be here. I took you in out of the goodness of my heart, like a stray kitten. That's all you are. You're nothing but a charity project. Oof, now that hurts. Henry's not punched me since I woke up. Thank goodness I don't want that becoming a habit, but her words were just as painful as her fists, if not more. The bruise on my forehead should fade over time, but what about the bruises of my pride? You sure know how to make a girl feel welcome, Hijiri. What were you expecting? Did you think I'd jump up and down for joy about all this? Get real. I wouldn't go that far, but I'd like to at least attempt something approaching politeness. And I appreciate it if Hijiri would stop staring at me like I'm something foul stuck to the sole of her shoe. A smile would reassure me a whole bunch. I was overjoyed when Hijiri let me stay here, but now, in Sei's absence, I'm starting to worry whether this was a horrible mistake. What do you think this is? A hotel? Hijiri's derisive voice cuts through my musings like a sharpened blade. I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. You're not paying me for the service. In fact, it's the opposite. I'm the one who's supposed to be paying you for the supposed honor. Here, Hijiri makes quotation marks with her fingers. Of your continual company, Pa. You should count yourself lucky I'm bothering to speak to you at all. I don't want anything to do with you. I'd appreciate it if you could leave me alone. I think this would make the situation more bearable for the both of us. Keep your nose out of my business and keep out of my way. Don't talk to me more than it's strictly necessary. Don't try to tell me what to do, and for the goodness sake, don't enter my room when I'm working. Is that clear? Crystal. Good. I sigh. This setup is giving me some serious Beauty and the Beast vibes. Hijiri's too small to be a proper beast, of course, and I'm not arrogant enough to label myself as a beauty. But my grumpy pint-sized employer has the beast cantankerous personality down to pat. That's so me. My grumpy pint-sized employer. Dang, that's one way of calling someone short. That's me though. At work. I am the grumpy pint-sized employee. What will she do if I dare enter her bedroom? Lock me up in the dungeon? Cast me outside for the wolves to feed on my carcass? Neither of these are pleasant thoughts. But I try to remind myself things worked out okay for Belle in the end. She and the bees had that touching moment after she dashed to her rescue, all cavalier, and then went on and become the best friends and something more. Will Hijiri warm to me if given enough time? I like to think so. We might even get our own musicals number at some point. I should be so lucky. Being despised by your idol isn't much fun. Maybe I'd be more into Hijiri's obvious scorn if it was a masochist, but alas. So, is there any work you want me to do while I'm here? Not really. There's nothing at all? I can't think of anything, and I don't want to think of anything either. I have my hands full working on the next volume of L-Force. I don't have the time to boss you around into the bargain. You'll have to take some initiative. I'm sure you can do that. A big girl like you. You can do as much or as little work as you like. Either way, it's fine with me. Just stay out of my hair. Yes, ma'am. I understand. Hijiri really laying the disdain on thick at this point. She might as well come out and say, "You're worth less than the ground I walk on. You could drop down dead tomorrow for all I care." Good. I'm glad we got that cleared up. Now, if it's quite alright with you, I'm going to bed. That's fine, but wait. I called to Hidri's retreating back before she could leave the living room. What now? Hidri pauses, then looks at me from over her shoulder. Her brow is furrowed, and her lips are pinched into a disagreeable pout. She's definitely pissed. Make this brief. I've said quite enough for one day. I know, and I'm sorry for inconceiving you. I don't want to, really. It's just, I like to unpack my bags, and I don't know where I'm supposed to be staying. Could you show me to my room? My query is met with nothing but silence. For a few months, I worry Hidri will chew me out for my audacity. I've been so thoroughly browbeaten already, I wouldn't be surprised if Hidri started to insult me, which is why I'm so perplexed when, after a pause... yes, you're right. Excuse me. Hidri nods with a nary and insulting word to accompany it. That was an oversight on my part. If you're to stay here, then of course you need somewhere to sleep. I should probably give you a quick tour too. I wouldn't want you wandering into any rooms you shouldn't or getting lost. Is that alright? I wouldn't offer otherwise. But I thought you were sleepy. I am sleepy, horribly so. That's nothing new though, I'm sleepy all the time. My nap can wait a half an hour. Showing you around is more important. Moreover, Hidri's expression darkens. I wouldn't be able to sleep properly anyway, not with you wandering around my house, entering rooms indiscriminately and touching things with your clumsy hands. I don't think I'm particularly clumsy. That remains to be seen. Now, shall we go? Hidri inclines her head to the door. I'd like to get this over with as soon as possible. I wish she wouldn't make this sound like a horrible chore. Based on her tone of voice, you think she's about to get vaccinated or something. Right. It's just the sliding. Hidri slides the room door open, then beckons me into the hallway. I hasten to follow her, dragging my wheeled case along behind me. Hidri gives me a quick tour of her home and all its many rooms. She shows me the kitchen, the dining room, and the downstairs bathroom in quick succession, but warns me against entering the room adjacent to the living room. Apparently that's her library. It's full of books and articles. Some of them are very rare. I don't want you looking through them. After a quick scan of the ground floor, Hidri leads me up to the floor above it. There's a lot of rooms up here too, but only a couple of them see any regular use. One such room is the bathroom, and another is Hidri's bedroom. Hidri pauses by this door, but she doesn't let me in. This room, she remarks severely, is absolutely off limits. I spend most of my time in here, writing. I can't work when people interrupt me, so I advise you to keep away. Don't come inside unless invited, and don't knock on my door unless you have something important to say. If you can manage that, I think we should get along tolerably well. Yes, ma'am. Good. Now for your room. Hidri leads me down the hall. We pass a series of closed doors, which I presume lead to an empty guest bedroom. Hidri hasn't ordered me to keep away from any of these rooms, so I don't suppose there's anything to stop me from poking around inside them in the future. I can't imagine I'll see much, though, other than bare tatami. I doubt these rooms have been aired in years. Maybe I should sweep them later and open up the windows. It might help liven this place up a bit. It's as I'm thinking this that Hijiri halts at the very end of the hallway by a nondescript door tucked away from the rest. Here we are. This is your room. You'll be staying here. This room is as far away from Hijiri's hollow chamber as is possible to be. She must have done that on purpose. Hijiri might be giving me a place to stay, but she's still keeping me at arm's length. I'm starting to worry that she'll never grow to accept me. How can we form any kind of meaningful relationship if she's unwilling to spend any time with me? It's with a heavy heart that I step inside my new room. I feel kind of bummed out, which might explain why my room looks so drab. The floor is tatami, like the floor in the living room, but the mats look old and stained. A strange smell emanates from them, like mold or maybe damp. Excuse me. Is this room even fit for human habitation? The walls are beige with the paintwork chipping here and there, revealing the plaster beneath. The room has one window which overlooks the forest. It's a large enough window and she'll let in a good deal of sunlight, but the glass panes are tarnished with age, the wooden still beneath wrapped with water damage. There's a chest of drawers in the corner with a missing handle and a bookcase full of what I presume are Hijiri's books, but that's about it as far as furniture goes. There isn't a bed or a desk or even a trash can. I presume I'll be sleeping on the futon tonight. That makes sense given the age and the style of this house, but I'm not a big futon fan. I've not been away for a full 24 hours. I'm already starting to miss my bed back home. This room isn't inspiring. It's the exact opposite of that, and it smells. So, what do you think? Do you like it? Like is something of a strong word, but I don't want to be too brutally honest. That wouldn't be very polite. It is nice of Hijiri to put me up. After all, I'm even being paid for the privileges. I shouldn't be ungrateful. I swallow my complaints, which are plentiful, and force a smile. This room's pretty nice, yeah. It's so spacious. That much is true, at least. This room is about twice the size of my bedroom back home, though I'm not sure if that's a bonus. The sheer size of this room only makes its sparse furnishings stand out all the more. It could use a bit of TLC, but I'm sure it'll clean up nicely. You liar. Huh? I stare at Hijiri, taken aback by her clipped retort. What do you mean? You know what I mean. Surely you're not that dense. Hijiri rolls her eyes. She seems to do that a lot. Is that a quick of hers, or do I simply invite derision? Now that I think about it, Nina rolls her eyes a lot at me too. I can tell what you really think. It's written all over your face. You think this room is a dump, and the rest of the house too. No, I don't. It's fine, really. Really? You can be honest with me. I won't be offended. It's not like I have any great attachment to this house either. Well, then, I guess it's kind of gloomy. It's miserable. The floor is dirty and there's hardly any furniture. I wouldn't want to sleep here. It seems like the kind of place you find ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts, Hijiri? Of course not. I'm not a child. What about you? Nah, I took part in this test of courage once during a trip back in elementary school, but the so-called ghost was my own teacher, dressed up in a natty white yukata. I've not believed in ghosts since then. It's all a bunch of mumbo-jumbo made to scare impressionable kids. How unexpectedly insightful. A thin smile captures the corner of Hijiri's lips, but it comes and goes quickly. I have to wonder whether I've imagined it. Maybe I'm going insane. The chest of drawers will start talking to me next, I swear. I thought you might be a sort of believe in spirits. I was hoping I might be able to scare you away with a ghost story or two, but apparently not. Nope, it'll take more than a few things going to bump into the night to frighten me. I might not look like it. I'm pretty tough. I'm here now, and I want to work for you, Hidri, even if you don't want me around. It'd be a bad look if you turned tail and fled so early on. Ugh, you're just as persistent as say. Well, we are related. Kinda. Sorta. I beam. I don't know if Hidri actually smiled or not, but it's gone a long way to bolstering my spirits. I feel a good deal cheerier than I did upon entering this room. It's not the prettiest of bedrooms, sure, but it's livable. I think I can make it work. So I'll take it I'll be sleeping on a futon. That's right. Unless you'd rather the floor. No, I'm good. Where do you keep your futons, Hidri? Are they in the closet? At least I think so. It's been a while since I used them. They'll probably need a good wash. That's alright. I can handle it. Just leave it to me. I was going to. Housework is your job, not mine. That's right. You're Tsuchimi Ryu, the great author. I'll handle all chores around here, so you can focus on your writing 24/7. That's what's really important. If I wrote 24/7, I think I'd die. 12/7? Then, or maybe 8/7? I'd rather go 5 or 6/7. I need to sleep at least 10 hours a night to function. That works too. Now let's take a look at these futons. I head over to the closet and spring in my step. I'm starting to feel pretty positive about all this. Maybe Hidri and I can really become friends after all. She was cold at first, yeah, but that could have been on account of nerves. She's opened up a little since then. She's still icy, but she's not as hard to talk to as I'd feared. Maybe she doesn't like me, but I don't think she outright hates me. I'm making progress. I grasp the handle of the cupboard door, grinning as I do so, and... Oh boy, another achievement. Thrills and chills. What is that in your closet, Hidri? What the frick? Excuse me. I screamed. Something falls out of the cupboard. I don't get a good look at it, but it's something tall, bipedal, and disconcertingly human looking. I was expecting some mothballs at the worst, but this is a total shock. What's going on? The humanoid something stands on top of me. It's heavy, whatever it is, and it knocks the air out of me. I fall back when it collapses on the tainted tatami floor. My butt hits the ground with a dull thud, and my legs indecorously splayed. The humanoid creature hits the floor too, a few inches away from me. It rolls over, its large eyes staring, its chest cavity all opened up, its inner organs exposed. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, it really is a human. Hidri. I choked out Hidri's name once I'm finally able to formulate words. What is that? Why is there a dead body in your cupboard? Oh, that. Hidri looks down at the vivisected corpse, her lips curled at the corners. Now I know I'm not imagining things, that smile is a real deal. It's quite cute as far as smiles go, but I'm too shaken to properly appreciate it. Why does Hidri look so unperturbed by all this? That's Barney. Who's Barney? My anatomical dummy. I brought him on a whim a while back. I thought he might make for a good reference material or some gorier scenes, but he's too big to fit in my room. I forgot I put him in here. Oh, right. I guess that makes sense. I exhaled, my breath ragged, one hand pressed to my chest. So this isn't a corpse after all, and neither is a vengeful ghost. It's only a dummy. Now I'm a bit calmer. I can tell that Barney isn't a real human. He's just a face smile of one, and he's not all that convincing. His eyes are bulbous, and the placement of his nose looks a bit strange. His skin, when I reach out to touch him, is cold, hard, synthetic plastic. There's nothing lifelike about him at all. What a relief. I sigh while getting on my feet. I was seriously beginning to worry I had a murder case on my hands. Oh, you should have seen the look of your expression on your face. You were so scared, it looked like you were going to wet yourself. It was so funny. Can you blame me? Anybody would be shocked to see that. You almost gave me a heart attack. That's the best part. I pout. I wish Hijiri wouldn't laugh at me like that, but it's kind of a novel seeing her laugh at all. I wasn't sure if she was capable of it. It's nice to be proven wrong. Alrighty. I stuff Barney away back in this cupboard of shame. Once Hijiri leaves my room, then I set about unpacking my clothes. I folded up my skirts and my dresses and my jackets and stashed them away inside my chest of the drawers. Then I haul out the futons, taking care this time not to disturb Barney, and lug them downstairs to the kitchen to wash them. I load the washing machine with the musty old futon and bust myself with some simple chores while they're spinning around. I cleaned the kitchen from top to bottom, washed some dishes that are festering in the sink, and swept the floor. There's a lot of work to do. The whole kitchen is covered in a fine film of grime, but it looks significantly tidier by the time I'm done. I take the damp futon out of the washing machine once they cycle finish and hang them outside to dry on the line. By this point it's almost 19 o'clock. The sun is still up, but it won't be for much longer. The sky is already starting to darken, and the sun has begun to inch its way towards the horizon. The futon is about half an hour to dry, if that. I'm doubtful it will be done in the time, but this is the best I can do on such short notice. I'll probably have to sleep on the damp covers tonight. It's not an attractive position, but it'll have to make do. Damp covers are still preferable to the dirty tatami floor, though neither is a great option. I'll have to give my room a thorough wipe down tomorrow. I'm worried some of the flooring is so damaged it has to be removed outright then refitted. That sounds like a whole lot of effort, and it'll probably be expensive unless I try to do it myself. I've cleaned tatami mats before, but I've never ripped it up. There's a discomfortingly large probability that I'll screw the process up somehow and make matters worse. I could always call a pro to handle it for me, I guess, but wouldn't that defeat the point of me being here? I'm supposed to be Hijiri's housekeeper, regardless of whether she accepts me or not. I've got to take responsibility for the running of her home. Besides, I can't imagine a recluse like Hijiri being thrilled at the prospect of letting strangers into her home so they can tear up the floor. I could try asking her, but I already know what the response would be. No way. Not over my dead body. It's no good. That's a total dead end. I'll have to watch the tutorials online and figure it out myself. How hard can refitting tatami mats be? Huh. At least I'm confident in my cooking skills, if nothing else. Alrighty. I am gonna actually save the game right here and end stream. Alrighty. So, we finally met our idol. Things did not work out well. like they should have gone. Maya was definitely a ditz, clumsy, kind of dumb, very dumb. And yeah, well, we at least now we made it. We found our way to our idol's home, and hopefully to our idol's heart. But that is going to be it for today's stream. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care, have a good one. Goodbye.